the African Union is condemning the violence that has ravaged the northeast of the Central African Republic. In a joint statement with the Economic Community of Central African States and the UN mission in C.A.R, the three entities warned armed groups against violating the peace agreement to which they are signatories. According to the UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric, fighting broke out again about 15 kilometers outside of Biaro in the country's northeast.
And in the Central African Republic, fighting has broken out again yesterday, about 15 kilometers outside of Birao in the country's northeast. In a joint statement, the African Union, the Economic Community of Central African States, and the UN mission in the country have condemned the violence and reminded armed groups involved that this is a flagrant violation of the peace agreement to which they are signatories. They call on armed groups to immediately abandon their attempts to attack the city of Birao and to avoid any act that could lead to unjustified escalation. The head of the mission, Mankeur Njai, asked armed groups involved in the violence to immediately begin negotiations for a ceasefire.
And Israel says it has begun flying commercial aircraft through Sudanese airspace under an agreement with the Khartoum government. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told a group of visiting U.S. Jewish leaders that the first Israeli plane crossed Sudan on Saturday, bound for South America. This new air corridor cuts the flying time on the route by 3 hours. Sudan said in early February that it had given initial approval for Israeli planes to fly over its territory, even as Israel is discussing rapid normalization of ties with its former foe.
In many ways, in the way that Israel's policy was run. Now, we're discussing rapid normalization. The first Israeli airplane passed yesterday over the skies of Sudan. The first Israeli plane. It was said that the only way that we could be accepted by our neighbors is that if we give up land. The accumulation of power creates a new approach to Israel. And you mentioned that, Arthur. You see it in the Arab world, you go there. I've been developing contacts with the Arab countries and Muslim countries, and I can tell you there's scarcely 1, 2, 3 Muslim or Arab countries around the world that we don't have deepening ties with.